All right, hello. How is everyone doing today? And welcome to my channel. This channel is for educational purposes. And this is a segment called Your Blind Side. This is an attempt to communicate to the patriots out there what's in your blind spot. And, you know, I'm guarding your blind spot. Um, and so um, you guys are doing a great job out there, winning the battles and uh, defeating the globalists, but you haven't done enough digging yet. You haven't gone deep enough yet. And so our foundation is not firm enough to move forward with the victory. And that's because there's too much that we have held um, in our past that we have not scrutinized and not rejected yet. And this has to do with a number of different areas. I talk a lot about religion, talk a lot about, um, you know, that our religious foundation is not sufficient to move forward, our spiritual foundation not sufficient to move forward. Also, our health and diet outlook is not enough to move forward. Um, we are making progress on those fronts, but not enough. Just some more deeper digging, um, and also in terms of, I guess you would say, science and technology education. Um, we also need a lot of more digging. There are, you hear a lot of talk about uh, you know, Tesla and free energy and the like. And the Soft Disclosure Network talks a lot about first principles. Uh, well, it's kind of ironic. The founder of the Soft Disclosure Network is from the state of North Dakota, and one of his, one of his fellow North Dakotans is really the answer to the first principles of space, time, physics, chemistry, and all science, and really all um, endeavor in terms of it goes into metaphysics and uh, religion and philosophy, economics, starting out with physics, chemistry, and astronomy, but into every field. And that is a person whose name is Dewey B. Larson. Mr. Larson has been deceased for the last about 35 years ago, 1990, he died. But from he started developing his theories in about 1930 and um, worked the last 60 years of his life, put out many, many books and many, many articles on the subject that have never seen the light of day. I mean, they have seen the light of day, but have never been read by anybody. Um, he was a great writer, actually, but he wasn't a very good teacher. And so a lot of his important concepts are kind of buried within these tomes that he wrote, and they're difficult to read. But Mr. Larson started with the first principles. And that first principle is motion. The universe is not made out of matter, and it is not made out of energy. In fact, E = mc squared demonstrates that neither matter nor energy is the most fundamental thing. And in fact, the most fundamental thing is actually the c squared part, which is the speed of light squared. The most fundamental thing is motion. The universe is made out of motion. And motion is the relationship between space and time. These are the fundamental principles that you start with, and they make perfect sense. The only thing that doesn't change in the universe is change. The universe is always changing. And it turns out that in Larson's world, the universe, he calls that the progression of the natural reference system. The progression of the natural reference system occurs. Now, Mr. Einstein would say that the speed of light is the maximum speed of the universe. Larson says that the speed of light is the midpoint of the universe. Half the universe is moving faster than the speed of light, and half is moving slower. The half that we are familiar with is moving slower than the speed of light. But then there is what he calls the cosmic sector, where everything is moving faster than the speed of light. And that is the realm of mind. And you might say consciousness. And so Larson built up his entire theory from this basis, and made, and goes through a very long chain of deductions to arrive at his universe, and then wrote his books. For example, his book on chemistry is called Basic Properties of Matter. He uses specifically the principles of the universe of motion to derive the basic properties of matter strictly from his theory. So he calculates the melting point and the boiling point and the specific heat and the compressibility and so on of various of the elements and quite a few molecules of matter, based strictly on his derivations, his equations that he derives from the universe of matter and applies to chemistry. Then he takes his values and he compares them with the scientific tables that have been established experimentally. And in almost all cases, he is like within 0.1% of the actual values that have been determined by the laboratory or laboratories. There are some discrepancies, but the basic ideas are there. Larson admits that he could have made some mistakes in how he applies the theory, but the theory itself is correct. And so this is something that the Patriots need to keep their eyes on, that this is how we move forward. He has the right ideas. They need to be applied correctly. It's a mess because he's dead and hardly anybody understands his theory. But it is the gold mine moving forward. It's not Tesla. Tesla maybe can be fit into Larson's theory, but Larson has the overarching theory that will be the foundation. Tesla's got the 369 and all of that. That can be incorporated into Larson's theory, I'm sure, if it's correct. But but that's not a foundation. This is a foundation, and this is what has to be used to move forward. It's difficult research, I've got almost 600 videos on this channel, going over many of Larson's books and articles, and of um, his few colleagues that have also um, written on this topic, most of whom are now dead as well. Um, but the only thing that is keeping us from understanding Larson's theory is it's kind of impenetrable and difficult. And so again, the Patriots are kind of failing here, because the fact that something is difficult is not a reason to not get into it. Um, you should be able to see immediately upon reflecting on Larson's theory that it is correct, or that it is promising, and that it needs some research. you know um, but we continue to kind of harp on these more easy subjects, subjects that don't require a lot of rethinking, don't require us to unlearn stuff that we already learned. We're quite invested in a certain set of values and beliefs, and it doesn't seem like we're really willing to change really any more than like the globalists are. Just hardly a little more. We've made a few changes, but um, but I think the residual is still that we're very resistant to trying to get into some new territory here. And Mr. Larson has put, uh, I won't say he has put it on a silver platter for you, but he's laid it right out there for you. And it's not on a silver platter. It requires work and discipline to get into it. And I can't say that I understand the theory 100%, but I understand the theory well enough to know that it's correct, as far as it goes. It needs to be, you know, um, refined and extended, but this is the way to go. And so that's what I'm telling you. You can listen to it or not, but just consider me your guardian angel here, protecting your blind side. So thanks for tuning in today. And like, share, subscribe, and contribute. And remember to watch your blind side.